The How Is Your Driving interview segment is sponsored by the How Is Your Driving board game.
My name is William Horton. I'm a retired Tucson Police motorcycle officer who specialized in traffic enforcement. I was a police officer for Tucson for 27 years. I am now presently employed with a concrete company as their safety coordinator. An accident is a collision between a motor vehicle and a fixed object, another vehicle, or a pedestrian upon a public highway. The difference between an accident and a hit and run is that an accident is unintentional collision between a motor vehicle and another vehicle or a pedestrian or a fixed object upon the highway. It becomes a hit and run when one of the two people or persons or whoever that's involved in the collision leaves the scene without rendering aid to anyone, or without, if it was just property damage, without leaving some information that's required by law on the vehicle or given to the other person at the scene. And then it becomes what is called, or what's commonly known as, a hit and run. Is there a policy to get tough on traffic violators like there are policies to get tough on crime? Yes. Police officers around the country write tickets to violators of traffic law. That's what motorcycle officers primarily do. When you see the lights in your mirror, and you hate to see the lights in your mirror, that's the police enforcing their policies and trying to make the roadways safer for everybody. And it's just as tough as on crime. It's just that traffic violators actually are a little bit harder to catch than real criminals are. Are the current laws effective enough in reducing traffic collisions? Yes, I think that the laws that we have are adequate to assist in reducing the amount of collisions. The problem that we have is we don't have enough police to enforce these rules, and the police that do enforce these rules have to have cooperation from the courts to also enforce the rules on the side of the courts. So if a police officer writes a person a citation for running a red light, and the courts don't find that person or make that person responsible for what they did, then the police officer's enforcement action is actually nil. Are the penalties for red lights, speeding, and DUI too soft for the harm done? No, I don't think so. You have to understand that any of us, you or I, could run a red light and not intend to do that. We probably all speed at some times during the day. We may not all drive under the influence, but sometimes we may go out to dinner and have a beer or a wine and maybe have too much and not know that we have too much. The problem that we have in America is that drinking alcohol is a social thing, and until we change our social values, we're going to always have people that are going to be driving under the influence. So no, the present laws that we have now are very stringent. In fact, the DUI laws now allow for the police to seize your car when they catch you driving under the influence of intoxicating liquors and or drugs. Should passenger car drivers go through as much rigorous training as police officers do? I don't know if they should go through as much rigorous training as police officers do, because very few people drive for 8 to 10 hours, 12 hours a day continuously. But I think that the training that drivers get now is very ineffective, because the only training you get primarily is from your parents. And once your parents give you that training, and once you receive your driver's license, if you never receive a ticket in your lifespan, you're not going to get any additional training under normal circumstances. And I think that when you drive down the road and you see people brushing their teeth or shaving or putting on eyelashes, things of that nature, and I'm sure that most of you people have probably seen this, and you have to realize that those are not things that we should do as drivers. And yes, we need to have a more stringent training program, but not as stringent as what the police get, because most people don't drive as much as the police get. But yes, they should have more stringent driving, and there should be other things that the police look for when they're stopping people. In fact, these people that are shaving and brushing their teeth and things of that nature, they should be pulled over. Road rage. Where did this come from? Well, that's called aggressive driving in the state of Arizona. And road rage comes from the crowded roadways that we have, and most big cities have these crowded roadways, and people wanting to get from point A to point B in as short a time as possible. In the state of Arizona, in order to be convicted of road rage, you must, number one, be speeding, and then you have to commit 2 other violations that are indicated in the statutes. One of those violations may be following too closely or making an unsafe lane change. But you have to have 3 violations in order for a police officer to stop you and write your citation for aggressive driving. Is window tinting illegal, or is it legal? And if it is it safe, or if it's unsafe? Well, window tinting by statute deals with the windows on each side of the driver and the windshield. That means the driver's door window, the front passenger's door window, and the windshield. And what the statute says is that if you're going to use window tinting on your side windows, meaning the driver's passenger window and the driver's window, that the window tinting must allow plus or minus 33% light transmission. That means that at least either 33% or 30% light transmission has to be allowed to go through the material on your windows. On the windshield, the statute says, in fact, it gives you a measuring degree that you must, the officers have to measure 5 inches from the back of your seat, measure vertically up 24 inches. If there's any window tinting between the bottom of the seat and the 24 inches, it's illegal. Normally, most cars will allow you to put about 4 inches of tinting from the top of the window. You will see more window tinting than this. You will also see people with window tinting on the bottom of the windshield. It's all illegal. The windows behind the driver, as long as you have outside side mirrors, you can paint your windows in the rear, the windows that are behind the driver, black if you would like. Is it safe? No. Is any window tinting safe? Well, yeah, they make a window tinting that blocks 99% of the ultraviolet rays, and those are the damaging rays to your skin. And the window tinting is almost clear, but no one wants to use that. For whatever reason, people want to use the darker window tinting. And is it dangerous at nighttime? Yes, it is. Because if your window is not rolled down, you cannot see all of the traffic that's coming towards you, especially pedestrians.
There is one traffic injury every 25.6 minutes. How Is Your Driving is hosted by Otilia Diaz. Tune in to How Is Your Driving on Tuesdays at 7:30 and Saturdays at 3:30 p.m.